Alright, I'm not too sure how proud I am of this code. And I don't know where I left it off for the last video, but this is what I ended up doing for this URL thing. I have an enumerable here of schemes that defaults to the two more common ones. And if you put null in as a parameter for that, so over here, schemes equals null, and if we run that, then it just works as a your basic URL input. If you try to save it, it's going to say nope, you need to have the HTTP and the current value. That's what gets passed into the the validation work. So that's how it works if you put schemes null, but it does default to this. And this will give you the box up front here, so you don't have to type in the HTTP and all that stuff, and it will still do a valid submit. And the way I accomplished it was I've got if the schemes aren't null, then I've got to select in here, and if the current scheme matches the selected scheme, then it gets it selected so that the drop down stays in tune with what's going to get passed back to the form. And on the parameters set, I noticed that if you manually set down here, this is don't need that. If you manually set the current value in the code, then on parameter set gets called again, and it'll just kind of it does something, I forget what it does, but it screws it up. But I think it keeps putting HTTP in front of it, so you'll get HTTP every time you change something. So that's why I have this parameter set variable, and the first time it gets called, it sets it to true so that this never gets called again. And the same thing with is set on the update URL. When I come in here and I change this value right here in code, then this on change gets called again. So I need to have a flag to make sure that it doesn't, it'll just go into an infinite loop. So that's why I've got if is set, then return, and then I should have that. That code was working, wasn't it? We'll pull that out of here, put it down here just in case. Anyway, that's why I've got that to stop the infinite loop. So it'll come through when the URL change or the scheme changes. It'll set it to false, so that this code will run, and then once it runs, it says, all right, don't run me anymore, And I think that's about it to this thing. And I'll leave it there. Have a good day, everybody.